Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You know those times when you get invited to a party as a guest?
I literally sat right across from Steven Tyler and I just asked him every question I could ever imagine about everything.
We're walking with Michael Jackson.
And you have no idea what you're in for.
I was not thinking about, doing the funky Cole Medina with Home Rope.
This is a podcast about just that.
They're going to arrest us for being on mushrooms at a wizard park. We're in trouble.
This is Plus One Stories.
Hey everyone, we're back. This is Plus One Stories. I'm Chris Donovan, your host, and please do me a favor. If you like this podcast, tell a friend about it and leave me a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you used. Also, you can go to thisisfunner.com, check out all the other podcasts and online content I create with my family. Chris_Donovan is my handle across most platforms. And now with all the shameless plugs out of the way, let's get into the show. Today, I have a cool guest. His name is David C. Smalley. Now, if you want to know what the C stands for, listen all the way until the end. Now, without giving too much away, this story takes place at the Comedy Store in Hollywood, California. Not at a show, when it started at least, but at the Comedy Store's Christmas party, which you have to be invited to. So it's pretty prestigious that he was there already. Well, he runs into a lot of people there. So check it out. David C. Smalley having a good time at the Comedy Store Christmas party, and he runs into Craig Robinson? Hey, David C. Smalley, how the hell are you? And welcome to Plus One Stories, man.
Hey, man, I'm partially fantastic, partially pissed off. Do you want to hear that story first?
Yeah. I mean, I want to hear the pissed off one first because then I can feel better at the other.
Yeah, it's a quick one anyway. I have a private Patreon, that's like the primary source of my income from my comedy and then my podcast. And I just found out 8 minutes before I hopped on here to record with you that there was a person who was disagreeing with a lot of stuff, and they were going into the private Patreon, taking screenshots and sharing it publicly and with other people. And I'm fuming. They got banned, of course, because it's a violation of terms of service, but they were just there to sort of troll and spy and take screenshots. And I don't want my, patrons to feel like they can't speak their mind. You know what I mean? But it's just, nothing on the internet is truly private, but damn it.
Imagine you're a comedian too. And when like on a Patreon or something like that, somebody's paying a couple extra bucks for it. You're not going to hold back as much as you would as if you're having a conversation with somebody at a grocery store.
Exactly.
Ring my doorbell.
Oh, yeah. I sent you something. It's a surprise. No.
Oh, thanks. Is it Domino's? Because I'm hungry.
No, it's Pizza Hut, and I'll tell you why later. No, you'll get that joke in about 7 minutes.
Okay.
It wasn't even stuff I said. So I don't want people thinking I just said terrible things and now it's going to be out in the public. It was a conversation about my show. And it was my fans and listeners going back and forth, talking about their feelings of the guest. And the topic of the show was the Roe v. Wade abortion stuff. So emotions were heated and people were upset, but they were all venting together about the guest. And someone started taking screenshots and sending it to the guest. And I'm like, dude, why do that? Why create that drama? So then I get a phone call from the guest and they're like, why are people trashing me? And it's just I can't control the comments of people, and you're coming onto a public platform to have these discussions. And it's a part of content creation that people just don't really think about you having to manage, so that just happened. So it's still burning,
that's like when they take a video at the comedy club and they're not supposed to, and it's taken out of context after you had a 30-minute conversation about something. But that does take me back to how we met. Now, I used to be the director of production at Podcast One, and you did a podcast there called Dogma Debate.
I did.
So that's what my first question was, what was going to be the podcast that everybody was kind of getting heated about? Because I've known you from Dogma Debate, and there were some pretty heated discussions on that show too.
Yeah. So that podcast it's the same show, but it's just a new name. It's just David C. Smalley. My name is the name of the podcast.
Better marketing.
Yeah, better. My publicist told me to do it, and it made sense because she said there are people who know what dogma debate is and they've never heard of you. And I'm like, yep, okay. So now whenever I do something publicly, it's my name instead of the name of the show. So and then I sort of branched out. It used to be just like religious based, and now I've branched out into comedy and skepticism. So it's like crystal healing and psychics and ghost stories, and we'll throw in some politics and religion in there too. So it's more of a broad spectrum, and it's a lot more discussion based as opposed to a debate. So it's not always, you get 10 minutes, I get 10 minutes. It's very informal, and it's exploring people's ideas. So it's the same sort of concept, but we still deal with really sensitive topics like abortion, like the death penalty, like religion. So
I was going to say, you've never strayed away from the harder questions or topics. So if anybody's into that, go check it out. David C. Smalley is the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast, David C. Smalley. It's available everywhere that they normally get their podcasts. So
okay, well, cool. Well, you're here on my podcast, so back to me.
Back to you.
Okay, so this is called Plus One Stories, where you've either were invited as a guest or you were part of a group, or something happened where you got to go see this amazing event or meet this amazing person, and something crazy happened, or something crazy didn't happen. You just peed your pants because you were so excited. Without giving too much away, something about not fitting in or in a guest booker. So I'm guessing this has something to do with comedy.
Yeah. So okay. So is it time for all the details now, Chris? It's time.
Yeah, let's go. I'm excited now. I'm excited.
So when we met, I was actually I had my own show at the Comedy Store. It was a promoted comedy show, and I got to book everybody. So I was a comedian at the store, and I was also the booker for us every one Saturday night a month. And so I was booking, whoever was at the Comedy Store. So I would walk around and see, Theo Vaughn or, Jeff Ross or whatever. And I'd go, hey, do you want to come do my show? They'd say, sure. I would book them, yada, yada. That's how that happened. But they very rarely would just like agree to it in advance. It was almost always, is it going on right now? Yeah. Can I go up right this second? Sure. And then can I go home? Absolutely. Go on and then bump 7 people, right? They'd like, don't put me on flyers. Don't promote, just I'll come up and talk for 30 minutes. And by the way, Jeff Ross totally saved my ass one day. I had a comedian cancel at the last moment. I won't say who it was, but she canceled at the last moment, and I had no headliner. And I ran downstairs, and Jeff was the first one I saw, and I went, my headliner just bailed. Will you come do 30 minutes? And he goes, sure, if I get to roast you first. I go, okay. And we walk upstairs to the belly room. He takes the mic, pulls me up on stage and goes, you dress like you work at a gas station. And the crowd goes crazy. And then he's like, you look like Bruce Willis if he drowned. And the crowd loses their mind. And I shit you not, 3 years later, I was walking through a gas station in Arizona, and someone goes, do you work here? And I immediately thought of Jeff. Right? Yeah, I had to tell him that story the other day too. So I'm at the Comedy Store, and I'd had the show there for a year or two, and they had a Christmas party. And so on the invite, it said celebrities and past comics. And for your listeners who aren't aware, the term past means you are approved, you are passed at the Comedy Store. Your name is written on the building. You are a paid regular at the Comedy Store.
You've walked through and saw the back of the bar where only the comedians get to hang out.
Right. You've got a special place, and your name is on the building, because you can hang out, but if your name's not on the building, you're not passed at the Comedy Store. So I'm one of those ones that can walk around just about anywhere. There's a couple places I can't go, but I'm not passed. So my name's not on the building yet. And I'm definitely not a celebrity comedian.
I do like how you say yet. I love that.
Oh yeah, it's happening, bro. Trust me. So I'm doing the development thing right now, where I do development spots. The next phase will be passed. We'll get there. You just watch.
Okay.
So I get, the booker of the entire event sends me an invite to come, and I was like, I'm not either of these things. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a past comic. Like, I can't go. And they were like, you could just be my plus one. I want you to be there. So I come sort of as the plus one of the person putting on the event at the Comedy Store, and it's a Christmas party, and there are celebrities everywhere. It was amazing. And I have a couple of short stories, if you don't mind, that are kind of the opening acts.
Drop some names first. Drop some names.
So, Brad Williams was there. Iliza Shlesinger was there. Really funny story about her. So there was this, envision a table and then a big poster, like that sits on a table, not one that's hanging on a wall, one that's got like a little stand to it. When I say big poster, I mean 4 feet by 2.5 feet.
Like regular movie poster.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. It was on a table, so it seemed big. I don't know. It wasn't up on a wall somewhere. So yeah, you're right. Regular. When I say big, I mean regular. Same way when I discuss my penis. Same concept. When I say big, I mean regular.
I'm not going to go there.
So, well, you already did one. Okay, never mind. With it. So this poster is sitting on the front of this table, and there are a bunch of drinks, like red Solo cups behind it. And I'm standing next to Iliza, and she just got a new dog this day. And Steve Simone is standing there playing with the dog, and I'm just hanging out with all these, ridiculously talented comedians, totally having imposter syndrome. And and Iliza wants to pick her dog up, so she reaches in front of me and puts her red Solo cup down behind this poster. Right? She can't see behind it. She just reaches around and sticks it there. Uh-oh. And I can see that there's 11 other cups on this table. And so I look down and I see where her cup is or whatever. And then she picks up her dog and she plays with it for maybe 30 seconds. She puts the dog down and goes, "All right, guys, I got to run." She reaches around this poster, grabs the wrong cup.
Uh-oh.
I have never met Iliza. I have never said 2 words to Iliza up to this point. She grabs the wrong cup. And as soon as she pulls it right in front of me, she goes to take a drink. And my first interaction with Iliza is grabbing her arm.
Oh, geez.
And seeing the fear in her eyes. She just looks at me and freezes. And I go, "That's the wrong cup." She goes, "What?" I said, "I'm so sorry that I touched you, but that's the wrong cup." And she leans around and looks at the poster and sees like 10 other cups and sees hers. And I go, "That was yours." She picks her cup up and she goes, "Sir, you should be at every frat party."
Oh my God.
And then she high-fived me, said thanks, and walked off with her drink. And it was the first time I ever met Iliza, and it was amazing.
Well, that's funny because she either thought you were like roofing her and you wanted to make sure she drank the correct one, or you were staring at her long enough to understand where she put her cup before she picked up her dog. So she probably freaked out a little bit there.
It wasn't staring. It was so quick. She just reached around, boom, and then reached back. And I was like, "That's not the cup you put down." I
met her back in, I think it was 2007, 2008 when she won.
Wow. Way back.
Comic Standing. Yeah. We just launched the Game Show Network Radio and she came in as a guest and she was great, but that was so long ago.
Yeah, she's actually really cool. I've talked to her several times since then.
Everybody you named, Brad, Steve, I know all those guys. They're all cool cats.
Yeah. So here's my story. Here's the thing. Here's the reason I said, yeah, I got a story for you. Okay. So I go to the bathroom, and just as I'm finishing up, Craig Robinson walks in. And for those who may not know, we're talking The Office, Hot Tub Time Machine, you name it. Pizza Hut commercial.
You don't know, turn the podcast off right now. Just turn it off. Just go away.
Pizza Hut commercials.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Call back. My mom knows him as, she goes, "Oh, the Pizza Hut guy." Yeah. Okay, Mom. So yeah, Craig Robinson walks in and immediately I'm like, damn it. Like you can't talk to celebrities in the bathroom. And I'm not just going to say hi or ask for a picture. I'm like, "I want you to do my comedy show. We should podcast together. Can we be best friends?" And you can't do this. And so I'm like, "How can I time? I'm already washing my hands." And he just walked into the stall, like, damn it. And so I take a little extra time to wash my hands. And he comes walking out and I move out of the way and I'm slowly drying off my hands and I slowly step out. And just as he takes a step out of the bathroom, I go, "Craig Robinson." And I look into his eyes for the first time and they're almost closed. This man is high as balls. And I go, "Hey, man, I've got a show this weekend up in the belly room. If you want to pop in, it would be great to have you." And I don't know how he's even seeing in front of him. His eyes are so thin. And he reaches into his pocket. He pulls out his phone and he goes, "Yeah, what time?"
Oh, sweet.
And a part of me's going sweet. The other part of me's like, first of all, he's high. He's not going to remember this. Second of all, I kind of did it at the bathroom, which is probably seen as rude.
Well, I mean, that's right after you just stalked Iliza. Then this is
same night.
Weird here, dude.
I was in creep mode, dude. I was in creep mode, and so I call it networking. You call it stalking. Whatever. Tomato.
Luckily, my wife called it networking too.
So I see him pull out his phone and I go, 10 o'clock. And I just said that because that's the time that was on the flyer. That's the time that the doors open. The show didn't start till 10:30, but I'm like, it doesn't matter anyway. Craig Robinson's not
show up.
He's not coming to my show. And so he said, he goes, this Saturday? And I went, yeah. He goes, cool. And then he just walked away. And I went, you know what? I'm not going to push it. That's it. That happened. I talked to Craig Robinson and he was nice to me. And I went on about my day and had a great evening. It was a great party. There was some singing. We jumped up on stage. Everybody did stuff together. It was a really fun night. And I think that was a Monday or a Tuesday. I think they shut down on Monday and did it or whatever. That Saturday night.
Day off.
What's that?
That's usually the comedian's day off.
Yeah. It sounds about right. And also, if they do it on weekends, no celebrities will be in town because everybody travels. So
exactly.
And so that Saturday rolls around. I haven't thought any more about this. I pull up to the Comedy Store. My sound guys, they're early setting up. I pull up right at maybe 10:05 or so. People are starting to, the door guys are letting people up into the room. And my sound guy comes bolting down the stairs and he goes, dude, Craig Robinson's in the green room. He's asking for you.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, oh, shit. Are you kidding me? He's like, no, dude, he's asked for you twice already. So I just drop everything and I run up the stairs. Like, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
Yeah, right.
And I walk in, I open the green room and it's just Craig sitting there completely by himself, looking at his phone. He looks up at me, sober, by the way. His eyes look totally different. He looks awake this time. And he goes, you said 10 o'clock. And I go, yeah, I mean, the doors open at 10. And he goes, oh, you thought I was going to be late because I'm black? And then we stared at each other for a minute. And then I went, yeah. And then he busted out laughing. And the fact that I made Craig laugh in that moment by just being like, yeah, black folks are late. It just the fact that I acknowledged it, he cracked up laughing. And I said, no, man, the truth is I didn't think you would really come. So I just put 10 o'clock on the flyer. So I knew. And I said, but man, if you want to go up, you just let me know. The show starts at 10:30. If you want to hang out, I'll get you a drink, whatever, you let me know. And he's like, I'm good. And I said, okay. And so we talked for a minute. He was really cool about it. I said, you come out and let me know whenever you want to go up and I'll just put you up after whatever comic is on stage. And he said, okay. And then he waited a couple minutes. I guess he waited after a couple of comedians. They went up. A couple of people has some 5 or 10 minute sets. He went about middle in the set and he just walked out to me. He was like, I'm ready to go next. And I said, okay. And I went up and introduced him. And he comes up on stage. And as soon as he gets on stage, you know how people do when celebrities are at the Comedy Store, everybody starts whipping out their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And the comic, the door guys are supposed to go over and be like, you got to get your phone down. But it was probably like 17 people. They all had their phones out. Yep. And Craig shut this down in the coolest way possible. He just goes, hey, don't take any video. I can't let people know that I know who David Smalley is. Or that I know David Smalley or something along those lines. And he got a huge laugh. And I was like, he knows my name, right? I'm back there going, yay, Craig Robinson. And the cool part about this is it doesn't end there. He crushed it. He did a great job. He left there. I sent him a message on Instagram later saying, man, thanks so much. I appreciate you stopping in. He replied, was like, great show. It was a hot crowd. I'd love to do it again. Oh. And then we stayed in touch. And over time, I would see him at various comedy clubs or whatever. And he would always walk up and fist bump, be like, hey, how you doing? We see each other at the Improv. And then it's to the point now where, the other day when he had that scare where there was a shooting at his show, I don't know if you saw, there was like a gunman. Yeah. I messaged him on Instagram and I was like, man, I hope you're all right. He immediately replied, was like, thanks for checking in. I'm good. So it's kind of developed. I don't know if I'd call him. I'd like to say he's my friend, but we definitely know each other and stay in touch. And one time I was in the green room at the Comedy Store and I was pissed because I had just gotten a phone call that I didn't get this role I was going for. Yeah. And it was like my third call back. It was for a major CBS thing. And I was sure that I had it. And then it came down between me and one other guy and I didn't get it. And so I walk into the green room and Craig's there. And at this point, I was no longer like fanboying over Craig. I just know him as Craig. And I sat down on the couch and I go, man, shit. And he goes, what? I said, I didn't get this part after the third audition. And it was perfect for me. And he goes, no, I wasn't.
You didn't get it. It wasn't right.
Yeah. And I was like, what? He's like, if it was perfect for you, you would have got it. And then I laughed and I was like, man, you kind of right. And he was like, kind of. He's like, I'm right. And then he goes, the trick is don't give up, because when your role comes, you got to be ready. And if you give up now, somebody else is going to get your role.
Yeah.
And just, it was so few words. He was high again. I don't think he remembers the conversation.
I was going to ask, how were his eyes, open or closed?
It was about medium. He hit something, but he wasn't completely toasted yet.
Okay.
He wasn't party high. He was stage high. You know what I mean? He was ready to go up. And so, and that helped me so much, man. That helped me put my nose to the grind and really, like get back to work. And as of this moment, because of that, like I was close to being like, screw this, we all get there. We're like, screw this down. And I booked the role and I'm filming a movie in September. And I got to wonder if Craig Robinson hadn't said that to me, if I would have even done it. And, the last piece of this, I just had a show the other night at the Improv. I have a monthly show there now on the first Sunday of every month. It's called Dirty Church, where people bring their dirtiest material on the first Sunday of the month. And Craig showed up. We crammed 72 people into the lab at the Hollywood Improv. It holds like 55. We were well over fire code. We crammed 72 people in there. Craig pops in and goes, you mind if I go up after your headliner? And I was like, of course, Craig. So we fist bump, hug. What's up? How you doing? And then I tell him all these stories that, up on the stairs. I'm telling him all the stories I'm telling you. And he's dying laughing. He did not remember hardly any of this. And he was dying laughing about it. And then he told me to go vamp. He was like, can you go vamp? Because he's going to take like 5 minutes for him to set my piano up. And then he starts asking me what songs I know, what kind of music I like. And so I tell him we have a couple of conversations. Like, I'm a Texas boy. I like country music or whatever. And so I go up while they're setting his piano up, and they don't know he's there. And I'm kind of telling the story about this secret guest, but I'm not saying who it is. And I tell those stories and people are laughing and I'm kind of making them funny or whatever.
Nice.
And I do this for like 5 minutes. And then I say, and now I'm going to bring up your secret guest. You know him from Hot Tub Time Machine. You know him from The Office. And I start hearing gasp in the audience. And I go, but I know him as a friend. Give it up for Craig Robinson. And the place lost their mind. And he was so gracious. He was so sweet, so nice. Sits down his piano, starts doing his bits. Then he starts playing Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks.
That is awesome.
Leans into his mic and goes, come on, David. So I go up on stage and I'm like, blame it all on my roots. And we jam out with Craig Robinson playing piano. I'm singing Friends in Low Places. The crowd didn't know what the hell to think about what was happening, but we had an absolute blast. And Craig Robinson is the dopest human I've met in Hollywood.
Well, they were singing along with you. Like everyone had to be singing.
To the hook. Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, of course. Not all the words. I mean,
I knew all the words. I was all up in it. I knew all of it.
I know them all. But here's the thing: is most people don't know is Craig Robinson is an amazing piano player, and it's fun to watch him live because he's always on there singing, and it pulls people up all the time. So if you ever get a chance to see that man, do it. He's amazing. He does. So he's in a band. He's in a serious band, and he's a piano player for this band. And then he also is an amazing improv guy. Yeah,
so he mixes his talents with improv on top of comedy, and it's just phenomenal. He'll ask people to sing along. If people hit a certain note out in the audience, he'll have, like, if whoever's hosting the show, you kind of share the stage with him sometimes. He'll have you come up and sing shit, like go out to the crowd and grab people that are singing. It's a fully interactive, like really cool show. So, I mean, it doesn't really have a stopping point. I think my show was 3 hours. But it was a blast, man. And Craig is super cool, really good.
Well, I can't wait to come out there and hang out with you and Craig because you guys are besties now. But this is the part of the show where I do kind of a recap of what happened here on the show in my notes that I took while we were doing it. But long story short, David C. Smalley. What's the C stand for? You haven't figured that out yet? Okay, let me know.
No, I'll tell you. I think I've said it one time in 12 years on my podcast.
Is it Clyde?
It is.
Shut the fuck up. Is it?
It really is. Nobody's ever guessed that. Wait, did you know that from podcast one?
No, I just guessed that out loud because I thought Bonnie and Clyde, and you're like,
yeah, it's literally Clyde. My dad's name was Clyde David Smalley.
Oh shit.
And my mom didn't want me to be a junior, so she just flipped it, and I'm David Clyde Smalley.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, but it backfired because my dad hated the name Clyde, so he went by David.
So
everybody just called me Little David.
Yeah, that totally backfired. I named my kid Aiden Donovan because my name's Chris Donovan.
Oh, there you go.
And then we have a last name too, but it's way too long.
Oh, I always thought Donovan was your last name.
That's my middle name.
Your kid's name is Aiden Donovan Donovan?
My name is Aiden Donovan Laudenslugger. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it. Thanks, man. You just fucking called me. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. All right, so David Clyde Smalley, he is he's working at the Comedy Store up in Hollywood, doing his thing, booking some shows one Saturday every month, and he gets invited to the Comedy Store Christmas party. Now, mind you, that is a very prestigious party to be invited to, so that's awesome that you got to go. I got to go to Gabe Iglesias' Christmas parties when he had them back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Those got rowdy, but those were fun too. But you got to go there. You ran into celebrities like Brad Williams, Iliza Shlesinger. You actually stalked Iliza enough to know that she didn't drink out of the right cup almost. And then she walked away from you. And then Steve Simeon was there, or Steve Simone was there.
Yeah.
You were looking around and you said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick." You go in there, you're jealous of everybody else in there. Mm-hmm. And then Craig Robinson walks in and you're really jealous. Mm-hmm. Then you're trying to wait to stalk him a little bit because you want to ask him to do your show because he's always at the Comedy Store, which is really what a lot of comics do there, but just not in the bathroom.
Right. So
you were polite enough to wait till you got right outside, got his hand and said, "Will you marry me?" No, I'm just kidding.
Almost. I would have.
Well, at that point you would have. You probably would have done it again when he gave you that advice. Oh, I didn't get there yet. Oh, dang it. So, but you talk to him, you ask him to do your show. You tell him it's to 10 o'clock. He says, sure, but he's super stoned. So you don't think he's going to show up. He actually shows up on time. Then he talks shit to you. You talk shit back and you guys are friends now. See, that's how that works in this world.
Man, it was so tense for a moment, for about a second. I wanted to melt into the carpet when he goes, "Oh, you told me 10 o'clock because you thought I was gonna be late because I'm black." My whole life flashed before my eyes. And then I'm going to lean in. I'm like, improv it, lean in. Yes. And give it to him.
Yeah. And he probably, if he would have said, "Nah, man, I'm just joking," he probably would have never done your show again.
That's a good point.
Probably. But then he gives you the best advice in the world about an audition that you had that you didn't get, or a part that you auditioned for that you didn't get. And now you're having his babies.
That's exactly right. Little Pizza Hut babies.
Little Pizza Hut babies. But no, man, that is a cool story. I know you have a whole lot more, so I'll definitely have you back on very soon. Where can people get a hold of you? What's your handle? I know you have a podcast called David C. Smalley, but is that your website also? Do you have a website?
It's literally everything. That's why we renamed the podcast that. It's TikTok, it's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's the website, it's IMDb Pro, it's David C. Smalley, everything. Did I do this right? Was I supposed to just tell the whole story, or was I supposed to just tell a little bit and then let you ask questions? I hope I didn't ruin your podcast today.
No. I like them to tell the story and then I ask questions along the way. I take notes. And then, as you could tell, I twist it a little bit. So it sounds like I'm funny, but I'm really not.
So I sound worse than I am in real life.
No. You actually sound pretty cool. You get to hang out with all these people at the Comedy Store. I didn't get invited.
Oh,
see?
Yeah.
You're way cooler than me.
Oh, you know what? That I can agree with.
Well, I didn't need that much confirmation, but okay.
I'm just yes-anding. Again, this is what I do.
No worries. All right, David, thanks for hanging out, man. I'll have you on again very soon, and we'll catch you later.
Let's do it, Chris. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Bye.
You've survived another story. Thanks for listening, and please let us know what you think about the show by leaving a rating and review. If you have a story or want to connect with Chris, go to thisisfunner.com.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.